Welcome to Breaking Bitcoin, recorded live in the studio. Today is Thursday, January the 9th, 2020, foul year of our Lord, already moving into January. This is your daily source for market updates, sentiment, and news for traders. I am Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at crackingcryptocurrency.com. Hopefully you guys are doing absolutely fantastic wherever you happen to be tuning in from. Special shout out to all of our fans and viewers watching on YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Facebook Live, and of course on Roku with the Investor News Channel app. Make sure to support the show that we do here every single day, guys. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not already. The bell icon will make sure you never miss an episode, and follows over on Twitter, DLive, and Twitch are highly appreciated. We've got a fantastic show for you guys today. Bitcoin's epic rejection from 8,000 continues unabated as we find ourselves at new lows for the day. However, the order book is stacking up to the buy side and volatility is gearing up for another push. Have we cooled off enough for a continuation of what might be a new bullish trend, or are we destined for another plunge down to fill that CME gap? Meanwhile, we're also going to be talking about the new BIP, the new Bitcoin Improvement Protocol that is going to be bringing Taproot and Schnoor signatures to the Bitcoin network. We're going to be explaining that. We're going to be breaking that down for those who don't understand. We're also going to be talking about the new implementations to the Bitcoin protocol that might be coming out in the future. Basically, the Bitcoin developers, the core development team has been hard at work over the last 2 years, bringing some of these features to market ready status, and we are ready. The Bitcoin Improvement Protocol, again, for Taproot and Schnoor signatures, which have been much vaunted, much talked about for the last 2 years, is here and ready to go. It's going through the stages right now of development approval and review, and if everything goes well, it will be pushed live to the Bitcoin network. So we're going to break that down, explain what changes this is going to introduce to the network. We're also, of course, going to be giving away some lemons to our DLive followers, and we're going to be giving away 8,000 Spectre security coins to a lucky YouTube commenter that left a comment on yesterday's video after the analysis section. With that being said, make sure to sound off in the live chat with your thoughts or your opinions. Leave a comment down below if you're watching this later. Let us know what you think, and let's get into today's analysis on Bitcoin, guys, because the market is interesting, and we'll explain this in great detail. Let's go. All right, so here we are in the live scene. Bitcoin currently trading on the Coinbase chart. Excuse me. Bitcoin currently trading at the Coinbase chart at 77.9118. Popping up a little bit from the current daily low. We're going to break that down and go look at that. Overall, on the daily, let's take our perspective. We have our second bearish candle after the indecision, long wick Darth Maul indecision daily candle that followed yesterday. Obviously, last evening, Central Standard Time or North American time zone, last evening, this current daily candle opened, and we've seen nothing but downside overall, traveling a little bit over 3% to the downside, currently from open to close at about 3.14%. Basically looking to close what might be today an unshaven candle. However, my trades are to the opposite side. Now, give you guys an update on the trades that we've put on, or at least that I have put on personally and that I've guided the group into. For everybody that's in the premium trading group, we did short $8,050. $8,050. So from the hourly perspective, excuse me, I actually have to go back a little bit. Let's actually go to the 15-minute. We can kind of look at these. We can kind of look at this volatility a little bit better. So we actually got filled right here. This is where we got filled for our first trade last night for our swing trade to the downside. Got filled at 80.50, took price all the way down, recently scaling out profits with our final take profit at 77.80. So we actually did catch the bottom and basically scaled out on this last movement to the downside with our scaled out take profits. We have actually filled to the long side now, which we'll go over when we go look at sensor charts. We're in a very interesting area of the market where volatility has dried up. And we can see that what many considered to be the breakout trade, we can see the first initial buyback right here with this long hammer candle on the lower time frames. And price did make a nice rise. This was a good swingable trade from peak to trough, a total price move of about 3.44%. A great trade for anybody who is in the Bitcoin markets. But we did reject from that area, ran into heavy order book resistance. The wall was at 80.80. That's why we got filled at 80.50. That wall was pulled off temporarily to grab more liquidity. Price actually reached a high on that movement of 81.12, but did not come anywhere near my stop loss. Well, slightly close at 81.56 to manage risk. But price did come down in our direction, which I did feel a lot of conviction about. So congratulations to the premium members. That trade is fully closed. That's a fantastic profit. So from peak to trough, let's see from our average entry of 80.50, down to our final take profit. Again, that nice 3% swing. So we did not catch the long swing, the quick long swing. We caught the short swing to the downside. So a nice 3% profit, bringing that in. And again, as I said, we did just fill on longs at 77.80 on the ByBit chart. So really did catch the bottom quite well. It really did catch the bottom quite well overall. And we are seeing, again, some nice volume finally come in over this last movement, some good accumulation. We've done, obviously, our trades are being generated through our systems, through our signals that we've developed at Kraken Cryptocurrency, constantly at work on the new ones. Quick update to the premium members. Again, I'm working really hard on my new integrated system and also the new signal delivery system that we have for premium members for the analysts. Discretionary and automated trades are coming into the journal. I still have to figure out the last bit for the automation, but overall, the signal delivery system for our analyst discretionary trades are coming through very well. And I'm really happy overall with that system. I hope you guys are too. So make sure to sound off in the premium Discord if you guys have any comments on that. Any ways we can make that better, of course. So overall, let's go ahead and go back to the weekly. Weekly, again, we are currently rejecting, as we kind of talked about, from our overhead supply. We did pump all the way up there. We can look at our weekly EMAs. We talked about this ad nauseum. We've also talked about just multiple factors that we're looking for here. The last time that we had the 1355 weekly EMA cross under, again, always plummets price down for the second leg of the bearish trend. Whereas a 1355 EMA crossover always accelerates price into the second half of the bullish trend. And what we're seeing right now is basically the mid zone of this swing. A lot of individuals are feeling bullish, feeling that this is the bottom at 6K. And again, there's no shame. There's nothing wrong with taking the chance. Again, remember, in life, the broader picture is that death is guaranteed. So that means that if you want to be successful in life, your options are gambling on something that you can win. As I take a drink of coffee here. So, highly recommended to gamble on something you can win, but you will have a higher degree of success implementing some form of strategy. So I talked about shorting this area ad nauseum. I went ahead and pulled off my main short. I took a few jabs at it and re-entered into it at 80.50 again, taking that down to 77.80. We are going to be long swinging from here, seeing if we can clear resistance at 8,000 to 8,100. If we're unable to do that, then likely we will go down to fill the CME gap. There is a CME gap. If we go ahead and look over here on the CME chart, there is a gap down at 77.25 set to 76.75. Failing to clear 8,000 at this point will likely mean we're going to go down and tap that level. That is going to be the target, I guess, for the gap, boys. However, the order books are fat above that level. So although price may be destined to tap that at some time, it does seem like the bulls want to buy up price prior to reaching that level. Now, of course, orders can always get pulled, but it is unlikely in this sense, looking at overall market structure. And it's been a good part of our algorithm that has brought us a good amount of profit. So over here on the daily from Coinbase, again, we can see that price, although it did trade daily above the 200 daily simple moving average, was unable to clear it as well. That's going to be a popular metric that many look at. I think that a lot of people, you guys know that I don't like to draw lines on my chart, but a lot of people are going to be looking at essentially the descending channel, especially if we connect. Let me see if I can draw it, because this is kind of stepping out of my zone a little bit, especially if we connect basically closing price, looking at the descending channel, the descending trend line the price was trading in, came up to it just like clockwork and descended. So if we wanted to utilize this metric and we wanted to connect essentially bottoms from here, this would foretell a movement down, again, past VPVR, down to our lower level of demand, right? Let's do a time progression on this. Again, down to right around 4,900. I think that fits in very well with our analysis. We've talked about this lower level of supply. Again, going back to the weekly chart over here on Coinbase. Again, we've plotted out the more significant areas of the market here, I do believe. We rebounded from our demand and high volume node zone, currently rejecting from our overhead supply in the form of the EMA cluster on the weekly time frame. And the high volume node that is right there, again, throwing on, I don't have VPVR over here on this chart, that's fine. We'll just utilize it elsewhere. And then again, this demand zone I would feel is likely to fail on the second test. And below that, positioned for the optimum, I think, re-entry into Bitcoin for those of you who are positionally trading. It's going to be that 4,900 to 5,200 zone, where the weekly 200 simple moving average is. Also high volume node. accumulation zone. And again, 200 simple moving average on the weekly cannot be denied as the support that Bitcoin was able to find over here on the recent plunge down at the market bottom around 3,500. So that's the macro perspective. That's where we're kind of looking at. Again, I think that there's still a lot of intraday volatility. If we go ahead and take a look at the order books over here on sensor charts, which doesn't seem to want to load. Give the page a refresh. There we go. Let's give the page a refresh. We're over here on sensor charts on the BTC USD chart, so we can take a look at the books and see where they're stacked up. So overall, we can see that the volume is much cleaner, much easier to follow over here utilizing the Binance chart. Actually, high recommendation. I'm actually more and more impressed with the Binance futures markets the more that I implement them. Several traders that I've talked to have been taking it a little bit more seriously, and I'm not trading on Binance margin myself. But the results that I'm hearing is that the latency is actually much better. The volume is quite nice. The market is easy to utilize. So some of the traders that I respect and am trading along with have actually been doing a little bit over there. Now, still, so I guess that's just overall good to hear. I don't really have more convoluted opinions on that. I quite like the exchange that I trade on quite a bit. But the volume is quite nice, quite easy to follow. The order blocks are quite easy to follow over here. So as we can see, we have our ice block orders all the way down to about 7,700. That's really where they stop. So again, as I've positioned here for today, looking to manage risk below those OBs. If they get cracked, then I would expect much lower prices, and I would actually expect this area to descend. So where we currently find ourselves at with Bitcoin is a little tricky. We are tapping down into where the significant iceberg orders for buys are sitting. And again, we use iceberg orders kind of in the wrong terminology here, because iceberg orders are by default, by definition, hidden. But we can see where the excitement is for the buyers right here. So being prudent, entered into my positions slightly above the big buys so that I can actually get filled to the long side prior to them getting filled. If those orders should be pulled, if we should violate these areas of 7,700, 7,750, I would actually expect not only for the gap to get filled, but most likely much lower prices. So currently unhedged at the point in time, I am spot long on Bitcoin as we speak. And should we descend below 7,700, I'll be hedging back up and expecting lower prices with a second full risk short. So those are the setups for today. Overall, I think that the market today, I think where we're at in Bitcoin is pretty standard fare. I think that most traders who have spent their time studying, following the channel, following along with either PTP material or studying and implementing their own strategies shouldn't really have a big problem with today's market. Obviously, we're tightening up. Volatility is tightening up. We're having random stop hunts to the upside, random stop hunts to the downside. Haven't seen anything overall dramatic. We did just crack the previous low where we can see that price was being accumulated over here at about 78.50. We did crack that, and now we're descending into a steeper area of demand. So 77.80 has been taken out. 77.50 is going to be where the largest order actually rests in the books. You can see there's 594 BTC to the buy side right there, stretching down 289 at 7,700. That's why I say cracking 7,700. I will not have any desire to follow trailing buys down. I'll be full risk short and hedged up. So that's kind of the toe in the line of the sand there. As far as to the upside, price needs to crack 8,000 and 8,100. Books are very thin above there. If we can crack 8,100, I would actually expect to see, and this is kind of what my trade is predicated upon, would actually expect to see enough momentum to carry price up to, at the very minimum, retest our overhead level of supply, 8,400, 8,500. So overall, fairly simple area of the market. I think you just need to kind of watch carefully. If you're already positioned, let's say if you're already positioned in something of a long-term trade, let's say, for example, that you did short the top. Let's go to the daily perspective. If you had shorted the top from a daily perspective, sorry, let's get rid of these channels. Let's get rid of these channels because there's far better metrics to use to evaluate price. But anyways, if you, for example, had shorted this movement right here, I think this is a fantastic area. I mean, you're up anywhere on average from 5 to 7%. I think this represents a great opportunity to lock in profit and make your trade a no-risk trade, especially as we kind of descend a little bit further here into our areas of demand, looking for a good retest, basically of the breakout zone, which is what we're doing right now. We've stretched far back down enough now that we're essentially testing the area that was considered significant, right? Basically breaking out of the accumulation range or breaking out of Bitcoin's previous range. So I think that reducing risk, making your trade a no making your trade a no loss is a good idea here. Otherwise, you're just gambling that Bitcoin is going to fall completely through support and not really preparing for the upside at all should price reverse from here. So I think that locking in the profits if you are already in an established profitable position is fine. And then you can always reposition should the trade move exactly how you want to. But of course, your own metrics and your own dealings are going to be up to you guys. You guys are doing well. You guys know how to do this. You guys are well positioned. You got the entire Bitcoin market in front of you. It's 2020, and it's the year to implement all the strategies that we worked on so hard together in 2019. Eli back, thank you so much for the $10 donation, my friend. He says, good afternoon, Justin. Please take a look at Link. Thank you, my friend. Let's go over and take a quick look at Link, my friend. That kind of overall, Bitcoin's fairly simple for me, guys, today. Again, made a nice profit off my short from last night. Positioned to the long side, and here we go again. On the road again. Just can't wait to take profit all again. All right. A little bit of coffee. Over here on Chainlink, yeah, this is pretty standard fare. Let's get rid of the EMA. Let's actually bring up... sorry. Actually need to make a small adjustment here. Okay. Yeah, Link is pretty standard fare here, man. So on the daily over here on the BTC chart, we do get the nice trending long signal on this candle right here. We actually get the, if you're utilizing Minx as a line cross, Minx being a proprietary indicator, of course, you do get it over here on the 6th of January. We are above the baseline right here. Minx is crossing to the upside. Wadatar explosion is giving you the okay. You don't have the rising explosion level, but that's okay. You're also not above the dead zone, which I do find kind of critical for taking the alt trades. But CCI is confirming the price is okay. On the very next candle, though, you are golden. You are gorgeous. As we can see, rising explosion level for Wadatar, line cross and centered oscillator signal from Minx. Above the baseline, and of course, CCI looking very well. So just bringing up Quadriga. Looking at our stop and target, we got one. We locked in profit here at this candle. We've locked in take profit 2, and we're looking for take profit 3, somewhere around 29,700, give or take. 29,700, give or take. So overall, good trade. I would have right now, since we've hit TP2, we hit TP2 right at, hold on, here and here. Yeah, hit TP2 basically at the tops of these candles at these highs. This is trailing stop loss zone for me. What is ATR on the daily? About 4.85%. So I'd be setting a TSL anywhere between 4 and 6% on this particular asset. Let's see. We are, depending on entry from here, or depending on entry, let's just go from the perfected entry. Up about 10%. So yeah, locking in about a trailing stop for about half of the gain of your position so far. Making sure that your trade is definitely a no risk. And I would be going ahead and closing this out. If we put in a daily close back below 27,226. Yeah, 27,000. Let's call it 27,200. Managing risk with the close back into there. As you can see, if we kind of zoom out here on Quadriga, if we kind of, not on Quadriga. If we just kind of zoom out and look at the overall broader market, let's take a gander and put some perspective on what's just happened. We have this high volume node that we were trading in, very volatile swings. But again, overall, we can see ranging right here. And then we broke down from that level. We cracked these highs. And what are we doing right now? We're coming back up and retesting the breakdown zone, seeing whether it's going to be resistance or seeing whether it's going to be support. Now, overall, we can see that the HVN, the initiation of selling, isn't until a little bit higher up, to be quite honest. But why take the gamble at this point in time? You've got a fantastic trade. And overall, we can say that Link has been in mostly a bearish downtrend. So we can see again, we see this big sell-off, correction, sell-off. What are we seeing right now? A correction. Does this bottom look quantitatively different than or qualitatively different than this one? No, not really. Again, overall for this range, we're going to come up to the point of control. We do have, again, as I said, TP2 overhead above us, about another 5%. And where's that sitting at? That's sitting at 29,000. So if you kind of wanted to stretch, maybe we could stretch up to 29,000 again. 27,700 is where the final TP for me would be. Although right now, I wouldn't have a final take profit. I'd be in trailing stop loss mode because you just want this thing to run if it's going to run. But yeah, definitely watch out if price approaches this $29,000 point of control of the range. You have to expect the price is just going to sell off again, right? So that's going to be my prognosis on this right now. Overall downtrend, breakdown of the current range, sell off, retest for resistance. And again, this is just going to be a rounded retest. We talk about these types of trades all the time. Let's zoom back into the range there. Zoom back into the range there. And when we're talking about rounded retest and supply and resistance, we have support. We have support. Support gets broken. It is immediately, this is a BPC right here, break, pullback, continuation. And what we have now, we have a rounded retest of that breakdown level, right? So it's, you got this zone from the point of control to basically where we are right now, where price is going to be retesting for resistance. So you do have to expect that this will not hold. And then we can basically look for, if price breaks this level, we would be looking for pullbacks to enter long, because then we'd be in bullish territory and potentially making higher highs, right? So for right now, I'd be conservative and looking to lock in profit. Great trade, Eli, as always, and just wait to see if we can clear this resistance cluster. But overall, this is getting to an area where I'd want to be selling. And of course, logistically, I'd be in trailing stop loss mode for the trade. Great question. Thank you so much for the $10, my friend. Now, guys, let's give away some crypto to one of our loyal YouTube commenters over here on the YouTube. We're going to load comments on yesterday's video. Yesterday's video, we talked about World War III. We talked about Monero. Is Monero set to soar in 2020? And is New York City going to be launching its own digital localized currency for the entire state of New York here in America? Definitely go check out yesterday's video. We talked about a whole lot. Thank you guys for the support. 12 commenters on yesterday's video. Let's randomly pick a winner. Obviously, me winning. The big win. Ash Vecchio says, if World War III starts, it will be because of U.S. FKN psychotic bullies. Well, that is a strongly worded opinion, and I do not disagree with you 100%, but perhaps a little. However, thank you so much for the comment, my friend. Obviously, World War III is going to be, a kind of international or geopolitical politics is going to be a tense, very opinionated subject, and I respect your opinion. I just hope that everybody can get through the next few years civilly and as agreeable as humanly possible, because we all are in this together, no matter what side of the world you're living on. Remember, governments usually send the poor to die. So not really into imperialism. Not really into imperialism. Anything that improves human liberty, I'm supportive of. Anything that decreases human liberty, typically going to put that in the this is bad for the world bucket. Thank you for your opinion, Ash. I highly appreciate it. Thank you for all the support, my friend. Please send me a message in Discord at JustinWise5696, and I will tip you some crypto, my friend. Now, on to today's crypto currently segment. I want to get in. I want to talk about these new upgrades coming to the Bitcoin network because they are important. They're going to matter. We've been talking about this stuff for a while, and it's finally here. So I want to break this down and explain it to you as best as I possibly can in today's crypto currently segment. All right, so in today's CC segment, we're going to be talking about the new upgrades coming, the new Bitcoin Improvement Protocol coming to the Bitcoin protocol. I guess a protocol too many times there. But several new proposals are, of course, vying for their addition to the Bitcoin Core code, to the Bitcoin Core protocol. And 2020 seems to be the year that Bitcoin will be seeing its biggest upgrade since we activated SegWit back in 2017. Now, according to the developers of the new Bitcoin Improvement Protocol, Taproot, which is a long anticipated technological change to Bitcoin, is, quote, nearly ready, end quote. And this comes nearly 2 years after the Taproot concept was first introduced. It was initially submitted by Bitcoin Core developer Greg Maxwell in January of 2018. And what Taproot aims to do is to boost the privacy ability of Bitcoin transactions by making all transactions, no matter how complicated, appear the same when observed on the blockchain. Right? Now, Taproot supporters are, of course, going to consider it a much needed upgrade to the current Bitcoin network, as it will provide serious benefits to scaling, fungibility, and innovation of scripting on Bitcoin clients. Now, along with Taproot, Schnoor signatures are expected to be bundled as a related upgrade, which of course aim to enable signature aggregation and make the implementation of Taproot possible. We need Schnoor signatures to make Taproot possible because Taproot is going to be combining multiple private key signatures into one Schnoor signature. So for example, let's take a multi-sig example. Let's say that you have a cold storage wallet, you have a trusted third-party private key, and you have a hot wallet, right? So you have 3 private keys that need to sign to approve a message currently on the Bitcoin network, or a multi-sig transaction like that. You would be able to see the signature from each private key, but with the implementation of Schnoor signatures and Taproot, it would become private. So you would only see one aggregated Schnoor signature without being able to see the signature from each individual private key, thus not allowing blockchain analysis or chainalysis to actually identify who was involved potentially in this transaction, at least not to the degree that you currently can. So this is a huge boost for privacy. This is a huge step forward for Bitcoin. This is a great implementation. We've wanted Schnoor signatures for a long time. They really allow us to do a whole lot, and Taproot improves the privacy of the network with almost no discernible downside. This is just great. This is just absolutely the development, the steps forward that we want. Obviously, UASF conquered over the big blocks, and we were able to implement the soft fork upgrade, SegWit, so there was backwards compatibility. And here we go again, after a couple of years of thought and development and careful craftsmanship. 2 years later, we have the next soft fork upgrade to the Bitcoin network. This will be backwards compatible. There is no hard fork that can jeopardize the vulnerability of the network like the big blockers wanted to do back in 2017. This preserves the UTXO set. This preserves the security of the network. This improves scaling. And this is just a great step forward. This is a great step forward, especially coming into an era where some of the biggest criticism against Bitcoin is now privacy. And we can see that what we're working on in the back end is improving all of the features to make Bitcoin as robust as possible. So Bitcoin core development continues to push ahead. Developers continue to implement. Again, some of the most brilliant innovations in the space are being done on Bitcoin, and for good reason. Now, in May 2019, Bitcoin developer Peter Will proposed the combination upgrade of Taproot and Schnoor to be deployed in the form of a soft fork. And as of now, it is moving into the feedback phase as developers recommend and review possible changes to the draft, with information on that expected later this year. With implementation of the soft fork expected later this year. Now, following the final scheduled meeting of the Taproot review group, which occurred on December 17th, 2019, Peter Will published an update revealing that developers were finishing addressing all of the comments from the review and that the Taproot proposal was nearly ready. Now, according to Square Crypto product manager Steve Lee, the proposal is predicted to save on the current network 30 to 75% of fee usage, as well as accelerate nodes' abilities to validate blocks by up to 2.5 times. So blocks are going to be able to be validated by nodes 2.5 times faster. So syncing blockchains will get syncing the blockchain data will be 2.5 times faster, in addition to boosting privacy, in addition to basically making the Lightning Network much, much more robust, making the Bitcoin network much, much more robust. Now, these upgrades are highly anticipated and is attracting a great deal of interest and excitement from the entire crypto ecosystem. The Block Crypto published recent survey data indicating that among industry experts, Taproot and Schnoor are high on the list of desired technological developments for Bitcoin. Now, to understand this a little bit more, we have to understand that at the heart of Bitcoin is public key cryptography used to validate transactions. Now, the current signature algorithm, known as elliptic curve digital signature encryption, has several weaknesses when it comes to privacy and fungibility. Now, the Schnoor signature technology is a much newer design, which was patented by Klaus Schnoor in 1991, but had its patent expire in 2008. It wasn't until SegWit adoption fixed transaction malleability on the Bitcoin network in 2017 that the implementation of Schnoor signatures became a truly viable upgrade. We needed SegWit so that we could bring in Schnoor signatures. We need Schnoor signatures so that we can implement Taproot, right? And it's just a great, beautiful linking of one upgrade to the next, done safely, done via soft forks, not hard forks, which jeopardize the security of the network and centralize mining. Now, the Taproot plus Schnoor signature soft fork will be an elegant fix to current issues existing in Bitcoin, as it effectively hides specific payment types from outsiders monitoring blockchain data. Now, Steve Lee gave an example, which I gave earlier, of a 2 of 3 multi-signature transaction on the network. how they currently function on the Bitcoin network and how Taproot changes this aspect of signing transactions. Let's see if we can find the example here. I guess there's not a good visual here. But again, if you can imagine a situation where suppose there's an exchange that is featuring a hotkey, there's a trusted third-party key, and a cold wallet emergency backup a cold wallet emergency backup key. Conventionally, participants would need to broadcast to the Bitcoin network all three keys, as well as the two signatures to complete the transaction. With the proposed Schnoor upgrade, however, these keys would be aggregated into a single Schnoor signature, which would then go on to validate a Taproot output that itself represents all of the complex functions involved. So to an outside observer, you would only be able to see a single output instead of multiples, which obfuscates the two keys that were involved in validating the transactions, significantly improving privacy on the Bitcoin blockchain. This also saves on transaction size, this saves on fees, and of course, as stated, significantly improves privacy. So, for example, he says, quote, you can have a Lightning channel open or closed, a simple payment between two people, or a very sophisticated smart contract, and all of a sudden, they immediately become indistinguishable from one another by utilizing Schnoor signatures and spending Bitcoin utilizing Taproot. Now, so therefore, Taproot delivers the prospect of a major innovation. Taproot also offers a major innovation in scripting on Bitcoin by allowing for complicated arrangements of signatures and keys, as well as eliminating currently existing limitations for how many scripts can be used to spend coins. Now, this opens the door to a lot of creative new applications to operate on the Lightning Network in particular. So these benefits are pretty clear and overwhelming, and there's not, to my knowledge, any known controversy or concern or downside associated with these upgrades to the network. Bitcoin core developer Jimmy Song voiced similar optimism, and he predicted that Taproot will not only save fees and block space, but also go on to enable new features and generate more interest to develop on top of Bitcoin. He says, quote, there will no longer be any penalties in terms of fees for utilizing multi-signature transactions, and that should lead the industry toward utilizing best practices for exchanges, for custodians. Song told the block, that last bit was my sick. We expect that this will create more interest in Lightning in general, as the bleeding edge of Bitcoin will be a little less bloody. Finally, we expect Taproot to be incorporated by more wallets and more interesting features built for those who are securing their Bitcoin. Now, Peter Will's draft of the Taproot plus Schnoor upgrade has not yet been formalized in the form of a Bitcoin Improvement Protocol, what we call a BIP, which is a formal proposal to implement an update on the network. But Will has stated that this is the next step toward bringing this upgrade to the Bitcoin network. So once in BIP form, once it's formalized as a paper, Will says he will open a pull request to Bitcoin Core with the proposed consensus rule changes, which will likely bring in another round of reviews for Taproot's implementation by core developers. If all goes well and it's clear that Taproot as proposed is what the ecosystem is willing to adopt, it will be merged. Into the Git, and discussion will start about how to actually activate it on the network, Peter Will said. If that too goes well, a release with the activation will be published, and if the conditions to activate it are met, it'll be live on the network. So, a lot of people, I guess one thing that I think that alternative coin, I think that one common complaint about Bitcoin is that it develops slowly. Keep in mind that we're securing a lot of money on this chain, and there's a reason the development moves slowly. It's not that developers are moving slowly. It's that Bitcoin was designed from the ground up and has been safeguarded over the years as something that needs to be implemented on when it's ready. We don't just throw new ideas onto Bitcoin willy-nilly. We fully test these ideas out. We have one of the best development teams in the world, and proposals are reviewed, re-reviewed, signed in triplicate, and introduced to the system. So it's a good way to ensure security, and this is just the next step forward for Bitcoin to improve privacy and open up the ability to do a lot of new things. So absolutely excited for Bitcoin development in the year 2020 and over the next decade. There are a lot of things that developers have wanted to introduce into Bitcoin, and the groundwork for it has been laid with SegWit. Schnoor and Taproot is the next step, and what comes next, I mean, I can only imagine. A lot of selling points for a lot of alternative coins. point to things that Bitcoin can't do. But I don't think that anybody talks about things that other altcoins can't do that Bitcoin can, which is be as robust and secure as possible. And look at what they've already developed again on the Liquid sidechain. Look at what they're already doing with layer 2, with the Lightning Network. So all of this functionality, a lot of this functionality is coming to Bitcoin. I think that building on top of Bitcoin is going to be one of the biggest things to do over the next decade. And I think that we're going to see a lot of even more development brain power move toward that, especially with the ability to do advanced scripting via Taproot. So very excited about this, very supportive of this. Let me know your thoughts and comments in the section down below. What are your opinions and thoughts on this? Do you think this is good? Do you have anything negative to say about this? Totally fine if you do. I want to hear your opinions. I want to generate a conversation about the next step forward for Bitcoin. But overall, just interested to hear what you guys have to say, and leave a comment down below about this, and I will randomly pick one of the commenters tomorrow for 8,000 XSPC giveaways, guys. We're going to have a brief word from our friends over at ByBit. And when we come back, we're going to give away some lemons, and we're going to answer your questions and maybe look at some charts for you guys. This is Jason when he first learned about Bitcoin margin trading on BitMEX.
Why? Why? Give it back! Give it back! Oh, give it back!
This is Jason 6 months later after signing up for ByBit with the Cracking Cryptocurrency referral link found in the description below. Don't make the same mistake as Jason. Sign up today at bybit.crackingcryptocurrency.com. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and distribute these lemons to our friends over on DLive. Congratulations in advance, guys. Try to give away lemons every single day. We don't try, we succeed. We do it. We got it. Give away lemons every single day on this channel if you haven't heard. All right, Bitcoin currently trading at 78.14. Let's actually, sorry, let me if we're gonna do this way, we need to pop open the new intraday. Why that Bollinger keeps coming up. My apologies for that. Wendy 2, Ricky T, and Forza World TV, big winners today over there on DLive. Ricky T, thank you so much for the ice cream, my friend. And Pyro Forest, thank you so much for the follow over there on DLive. Highly appreciate it. Okay, now let's answer your live questions. Also, I guess we need to start talking about this, guys. So we are going to try something starting on Monday. All right, we're going to try something starting on Monday. And I want to know if your guys' initial reaction is the world is ending, this is the most terrible thing that you could do, or if you guys think this is a neat idea. So it is my thought that a lot of, so this is obviously coming from the bias of the Northern perspective. Okay, I live in America. So it is my opinion that a lot of individuals aren't able to catch the show live because of the timing of the show. It's at noon, people are at work, maybe they're watching us on their lunch break, but it just doesn't seem the most conducive time to do a show, especially if we want to sit down and have a good conversation. So, as well as how can we construct the show so that we can continue to bring you the best news, analysis, information, and education while still improving the contributions that we give to our premium community, in our general community and Discord as well, on the website, everywhere that we are currently operating. So it's kind of our thought that we might begin attempting to do the show in the evening, something like 6 p.m., or excuse me, something like 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. It'll be a little bit more relaxed. We can kind of go more in depth on topics. People can ask more questions. I think that people will have more free time. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on that. Our current plan is to next week do something like a split show where we'll do the regular show at noon and then come back on for about an hour in the evening and test out the space, test out the audience viewership. You know, interestingly enough, for almost a year, we used to do evening streams. Remember, if you guys recall, those of you who've been with us for a while, on Saturday and Sunday, we would do evening streams from 5 to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And actually, that's when we had the biggest amount of viewers come into the channel. So let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions on that. I think it's something that obviously it's something that we're going to be trying. So starting on Monday, we're going to be attempting to do a show at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we'll be here from noon to 1 and then again from 8 to 9. And we'll just see how that goes, see the kind of adoption of that. I think that the format of the show is a little bit better geared toward that. And then at noon, what we'll probably do is release a Breaking Bitcoin Bits, because that, again, a lot of individuals are going to be at work. They only have maybe 20 or 30 minutes on their lunch break. On this, that Breaking Bitcoin Bits is a nice bite-sized chunk of trading education or trading information that they can digest. And then, of course, the live stream in the evening kind of prepares us to be a little bit more relaxed, maybe speak a little bit more closely, be a little bit more, you just spend more time on subjects and topics. So just something we're going to have to try out, see how we transition. Sorry, let's get into your guys' questions. See what we got for us today. Boris Fridman says, hey, Justin, are you referring to the 200 daily exponential moving average? The 200 daily simple moving average is at 91.80. Let's go take a look. So we're going to go to the daily time frame. And see this yellow line right here? We're going to look at our indicators. And that is going to be, yellow is going to be moving average 6 and moving average 6 type. Oh, is an EMA. Excuse me. You're right. It is an EMA. You are 100% correct. Thank you for correcting me, sir. Yes, we did reject from the 200 daily simple moving average. Thought I had defaulted those to SMOS. Very, very interesting. Sorry. Thank you for correcting me, sir. You are absolutely right. The 200 exponential moving average is where we reject you from. Eli back. Thank you so much for the super chat again, my friend. Cryptonomics asks, your spot long why? Our analysis and our signals indicate that that's the best direction to be trading in right now. Yep. If invalidated, they'll recalibrate. Again, the crack of 7,700 so far is what not only myself discretionarily, but also what my trading system is telling me to do. And, I do as the crystal commands. Right? Consistent profitability, my friend. You just follow the rules. I mean, from the daily perspective, we are in bullish territory, right? So shorting this movement, depending on what time frame you're trading on, is going to be actually reversal trading, right? So the attempting to call a bottom or a top. So we did that, right? We attempted to do that. We're unsuccessful with my discretionary stab at it for like the long swing, right? So now again, revert to the trading system, which tells you what to do when, because you spend the time to build it, and it's telling us that we should be looking to go long from this particular price level. It was the crystal commands, my friend. Thank you for the question. Caprica says, hi, Justin and team. Can I ask if you use LWMA on the CCI? LSMA. It's not a least squares moving average. It's linear regression, right? So there's least squares moving average, which some confuse with linreg. And then there's the linear regression. So that's a linear regression moving average on the CCI. Yes. It's very good to form. So I think linear regression is one of the best centered oscillator smoothing functions. Let's see here. It's Hard says Bitcoin needs a user interface upgrade, easy to use like messaging on phone. Until then, no mass adoption. Yeah, so that's not so really that's more to do with wallet implementation and not the underlying protocol, right? So the underlying protocol is has no user interface. Like you have to build clients to interact with the underlying protocol, right? The underlying protocol is just zeros and ones. So the updates to the protocol I think are really important to build a robust network. I think what I think what you're referring to is that wallet developers, app developers need to kind of step up their game, right? Which I'm not going to say that I disagree with you. Yes, but I mean things like Mycelium are fairly simple. You have Bitcoin, you scan QR codes. People are working currently on Lightning Network implementations. But yeah, I absolutely agree with you. So much work is being put into the under the hood because we're building something completely new. So the base protocol is what's really interesting, what people are really passionate about developing on top of, and overall, UI interface or building actual user, experiences for it. That has largely fallen, or I would say is not getting as much attention. But again, when the demand comes, you're going to see those wallets pop up. Again, I don't know if you guys remember back at the end of 2017. Again, how many blockchains were created in 2018 because of the parabolic run, right? The demand for the product comes in, and then the products get created. I don't believe in the alternative. I don't believe in the Keynesian model of that you can generate demand with increasing supply, right? Demand comes and then supply enters into the market. But yes, I definitely agree. As far as Bitcoin, that we won't have mass adoption until it's easy to do on your phone, like messaging. I think that's a very good point. I don't think that's a constant because again, things that are difficult have achieved widespread adoption due to necessity. So again, it depends on how necessary does using Bitcoin become. That's one potential pathway to adoption. The other is how easy is it to use Bitcoin, and then people will utilize it, right? So I think in the age that we're in, yeah, absolutely, you're kind of right for kind of pointing out that, well, in the age of simplicity and digital technology, making something easy with a good UI is going to boost adoption. Absolutely. So I call on the developers out there. Let's get a good mobile implementation that is safe and secure. Obviously with Samsung implementing blockchain, right? And it's I believe it's very similar to Knox, the encrypted storage space of the phone. Apple looking at kind of doing the exact same thing. Once we have an area where we can, just like we do with like Samsung Knox, store private secure data, just like the workspace, for example, of the Google Pixel or other Samsung devices. That's going to be a big step forward for security and privacy. Bflow says, if I can't listen to the live stream during work, what am I supposed to do at work? Terrible idea. Hey, back to work, my brother. Philip Carr, Manchester Mint Crypto says, please can I look at the BTC to ETH ratio? You mean ETH to the BTC chart? So FBTC, it looks terrible, by the way. All right. F to the BTC has just been, hounded and dog beaten down, my friend. Look at the gains that Bitcoin has made, and let's go to 2019. 2019 started right here, basically, right kind of at the top of this run up, and we can see that overall, basically, let's say the New Year, right here, January. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Ethereum and Bitcoin is down almost 60%, 56%. It's not looking good. F the Bitcoin ratio does not look good at all, my friend. So yeah, I mean, if you want to buy a market low, that's totally fine with me. We are below our prior historical low. Of course, this is the Binance chart, so we can actually go back further in time. It used to be cheaper than this. Here we go. But yeah, so we can start talking about 2016 prices. But descending to 2016 prices, I'd like to buy on the way back up, right? Because if we go to how low the 2016 prices went from where price is currently, you're talking about a potential another 60% downside. I'm good on that. I'll buy on the way back up if Ethereum is going to start outperforming Bitcoin. But so far, none of these altcoins, even Ethereum, is outperforming Bitcoin. All right, which means it's just better to hold Bitcoin generally. Now it looks for a trade. I mean, obviously, listen, we had a nice little run up here, crouched right above our 21 exponential moving average in a bearish cycle. Let's actually look at our all right, so would have taken a trade here on ETH Bitcoin. Would have hit probably about TP1, about 3.92%. Price swinging to the downside. This is actually a reversal baseline bounce, so one actually can initiate a trade right here, potentially. We don't really have a continuation signal right now. We don't have a bullish continuation signal. And you would want to be out of the trade if price closes the daily below 0.17322. I'm not really into buying. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm not really into buying lows, but this is a reversal baseline bounce. Again, you could have gotten filled yesterday and had an upside of about 1.80%. So potential targets from today's current entry price for entering into FBTC is going to be 17.8, 18.4, and 18.9. And managing risk with a hard stop at 16.6 and looking to discretionarily early exit the position below 17.3. 17.3. Best of luck, my friend. It's not the most attractive looking trade on the table to me. I think there's a lot of better other looking things, but it's also not invalid. It's not off the table. Ken D says, hey, Justin, just for your information, I took your advice and sold Hecla Mining at $3.35 per share. I had bought in originally just under $2 on a dip not long ago, added at $2.56, sold at $3.35, and now it's at $3.15. Man, glad to hear that, man. I'm glad you were able to get out with some good tendy profits, my friend. Wendy2 says, shows at night would be fantastic. More opportunities to set those ZERP fanboys straight. Hey, we try to be an all-inclusive show, my friend. All-inclusive show for the broader market. Price currently trading at 78.09. Taking a look at the broader crypto bubbles market here. What do we got? What's up today in USD? Lisk having a nice 15.4% pump. Ren up 4.6. Monero continuing to climb. Sele up just a little bit. NRG. Anybody who got into the NRG airdrop, by the way, thank you, Mr. Ether. Came off booming. BSV up a 1.7%. Everything else pretty much down abjectly. Let's go look at BTC value. What's making you sats today? Obviously, LSK and Tomo, NRG are up. Electronium, STX, Sele. That's about it. Everything else is kind of weak sauce, in my personal opinion. Instead, let's go for 24-hour volume. And let's look for what's bringing in the doges today. BSV looks like an interesting day trading opportunity. What's this? Zcash, maybe Ethereum Classic, and Monero and VeChain look like some decent alt trades. They're high in 24-hour volume. Maybe get your scalp on. I haven't looked at their directional bias, but Tomo Chain's drifting around there as well. Let's go take a look over at Lisk. See if Lisk can make us some money today. Booyah! Look at that. Man, look at that. Just look at that. Just look at that right there. Take a look at that. Let's see here. $17 on the day. And from open to close, just a beautiful whack-a-noodle 45%. Pump and dump, baby. Be careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. LSK is as one of our analysts put it, the scammiest, pumpiest, dumpiest BS coin in existence known to man. Absolutely hates it. That's why this was an analyst that I kind of had to pull into my style of pathways to profit trading. and I just applied my algorithm to list BTC, and it made money. And he was like, okay, I submit. No more trend lines. Anyways, let's go down and look at this. All right, so nice big run up. Price is contracted up quite a little bit, finding somewhat of a little bit of a consistent support here at 808. So yeah, we've got volume falling off here on LSK. Very, very, very low volume, very low volatility. We do have a consistent level of support. Let's take a look at VPSV on this bad boy. See if there's an opportunity here. Yeah, this is good. This is where most of the buyers bought. And this is where I think re-entry is happening, or selling is currently happening also as well, right? Let's go to make that a little bit more granular, right? There we go. I mean, you're basically buying support right here, right? So remember, this isn't derivatives trading, so stop loss hunts are less desirable. You can't trade in the opposite direction of somebody. You can only go long on LSKBC here on Binance. So while it's a little bit risky, I see the opportunity here. I mean, look at that massive pump. You're kind of expecting to see if you can get a second wave out of it, right? Likely a pump and dump. Be careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. But I think that even with LSK, I mean, looking to set some bids right here, basically where we're currently at. And if we close something like an hourly or like a 30-minute chart below that level, just get out, man. It's a good punt. Alternatively, I think you could be a little bit safer by waiting for the point of control on the daily to be reclaimed as support. So we've got that point of control currently at 817. I think if we can get a nice move up, pull back down, retest that as support, then we could probably go for another leg up. At the very least, you could target the top of the range at about 850. So obviously the range is going to be quite volatile. Just to move back up to 850 is going to be a 5% trade. Sometimes that's all you need in a day, guys. Stock and Forex guys are looking at me saying, yeah, just like 5% in a day. And their mouth is watering. Welcome to crypto, guys. We're only it's possible here. Make sure to be trading safely out there, guys. And of course, apply your own trading strategy. And before you're out there live trading, backtest your assumptions and your ideas and your strategy. All right. Other than that, let me see. Do we got anything else before I saddle off? Oh, GBU Wally, thank you so much for the $13.37 donation, my friend. Highly appreciated. You are the man, the myth, the legend. Shout out to you and Gunbot University saying, how about checking in on GBTC and any commentary on GBTC, ETHE, CXBTF trading instruments? I'm going to go take a look at GBTC. Unfortunately, I don't really have any comments on the other ones, to be quite honest with you. Typically for GBTC and their other Ethereum, so for example, their Ethereum trust that they're bringing to the market, it's going to be a great opportunity for individuals that have difficulty investing in cryptocurrency out of their mutual fund or out of their current retirement account. It's going to be a good opportunity for those individuals. GBTC is not actually something that I track that much. I basically only look at it upon request. But let's see if we can divine some data out of this, my friend, for you. I don't think this tells much more of a tale than Bitcoin. For GBTC anyways, unfortunately, it seems even more clear that, for as far as the traditional market is concerned, as far as the traditional retail speculation on this is concerned, we have a lower high and a consistent level of demand so far right now. So for a lot of people, I think this is kind of shaping up to be a descending triangle pattern that is likely to break to the downside. GBTC would tend to heighten my bearish bias toward those lower price targets of 4,900. This doesn't look overwhelmingly bullish to me. But longs looking for re-entry or recontinuation are going to need to wait until prices below 874.95. whereas price is currently sitting at $9.08. So we are about 4% away from continuation zone, and that continuation zone is going to be about 6%. It's a wide variance. I really do think that charting the BTC spot, unfortunately, and I appreciate the donation, man, I just don't really have any valuable information to share with you as far as my insights into GBTC. It's not an area where I think I know more than the average individual about GBTC. Unfortunately, I apologize, man. Wish I could be more help to you. Shoot me a DM, my friend, in the Discord, and I'll see if I can't drum up any additional information for you. But as far as their current instruments, I don't have really any thoughts. I don't actually know if they've launched. We covered it. ETHE. I don't know if they've launched their Ethereum. I know it exists. Excuse me. But again, I don't have any additional information about that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull my foot out of my mouth real quickly here and stop talking about things that I don't actually understand that much. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. And I hope you're killing it over there, my friend. What percent gain? Cryptonomics asks, would I close at what percent gain would I close a short at? Well, that just all depends on what time frame you're trading, what capital you're trading with, and what your projections are. Are you trading against your directional bias? Then that number is going to be much smaller. Are you trading in the direction of your higher time frame directional bias? That number is going to be larger. So I don't trade by fixed percentages. I know that's a very common way to trade. Like, my stop loss is at, 2%, my take profits at 4%. I don't trade like that. I don't like trading like that. I think that your take profits and stop losses should adjust dynamically with volatility. Wendy2 says, how about AMD? Let's put AMD on the request list because it's getting past 1 o'clock and I got to get running. So let's put AMD on the request list for tomorrow's show and I will look at it for you there, my friend. I promise. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, and or death threats, make sure to leave them in the comments section down below, and I will do my best to get back to you within the next 24 to 48 hours, especially if it's a germane question. If you guys would like to join the fastest growing educational group in trading in the cryptocurrency space, make sure to check out all that we're doing behind the scenes at premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com for our proprietary indicator suite, for our proprietary signals, for our proprietary indicators, and for our Pathways to Profit strategy building and education course, as well as all of our premium webinars, access to our private Discord community, everything that comes with that. We're adding features every day. Looking forward to integrating everything onto the online learning academy that we've built the infrastructure for now, and just in the process of uploading material. So thank you guys so much. You guys are absolutely amazing. Whatever you do, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and join the Discord at discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com so we can keep the conversation going even when the camera isn't rolling. All right, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time for another edition of Breaking Bitcoin. Make sure to trade safely and, of course, be excellent to one another.